once you decide to become an entrepreneur, once you decide that you're going to leave the friendly confines of, of a paycheck, it's time that you start marketing yourself. And so one of the things that, there's a lot of things we can do in marketing, but we're going to get right at it. So on the screen right now, this is what I think is a perfect fit for you. If you're new to HPN and you need to get the word out, this is great for you. If you're already rocking your business, you're a seasoned pro, but you feel like you need to push yourself to achieve more, this program's for you. If you want to develop long-lasting relationships with your customers, this is a must for you. If you've already established a relationship with your customer and you want to nurture, expand those, this is obviously something that you want to look at. If you are thinking about recruiting people into HPN and you want to run them under your business, obviously this is a good place for you. And then lastly, if you are fully invested in HPN, you're not just doing this to get invited to fan trips, then we want to take this seriously. We want to get started in what I'm about to talk about. Let's see here. All right. So for many years, I'm going to turn on my camera so that you can see me. I'm here in Orlando at my home office in Winter Springs, Florida. Oh, I got a little sun in my face. And what I'm going to talk to you about today, I'm very passionate about. I've been very passionate about it. Just to give you a quick overview of who I am, let me see if I can pull a slide up for you. For those of you who don't know who I am, let's see if I can pull this thing up. I've worked with HPN since I started with HPN. My whole goal was to leave Marriott and become an HPN associate, and at the same time use my skills and my technology acumen to be able to promote not only myself, but the HPN Global brand. And I've been passionate about promoting myself for as long as I can remember, and I think that seemed a little bit odd many, many years ago, but today it's kind of more accepted. But I'm as passionate as I've ever been about driving HPN as a brand, but I'm even more passionate about helping each associate develop their business. I think there's a misunderstanding that maybe I'm out to try to make $1 on each associate. That's not my intention. Just so everybody knows, I am a booking seat HPN associate. I actually book room nights. I generate revenue for the company and myself. And in my part of my day, I spend it in marketing brands online, like the ones you see online, and HPN is certainly one of those. I've also included Mark Dahlman. Many of you know that I handle Mark Dahlman's website and his social media, and so we do a lot with him. So it puts me in a very smart place to share my experience. I'm a chief marketing technologist, but I'm an HPN Global Associate. So that makes me feel like I have a great perspective in sharing with you guys today how we're going to get us started in marketing ourselves. This is not about marketing HPN as much as it is marketing yourselves. And so I want everybody to understand that that's where I'm coming from. Real quickly, just to give you some methodology, I'm not going to get into this very deeply. I'm not going to get long-winded. I promise everybody. I'll be off this call probably in another 23 minutes. But today, the internet is a very noisy place. It's a very busy place. But we break it down into 3 very important elements to be able to grow your business online. You have to capture their attention, you have to engage them, and you have to nurture them. You have to do those 3 things continuously today to be able to break yourself out of the monotony and that other competition that's out there fighting for the same business that's out there. So capture, engage, and nurture. And I can go in another webinar, the detail of each one of those, but I'm not today. It's just real quickly, capture, engage, nurture. Because the other thing I want to share with you, which is really what we're talking about today, is how the internet, how people find service providers like us when they're looking to plan a meeting. But more importantly, when you do a sales call or you go to a trade show and you get all these business cards and you meet 3 or 4 candidates that I'm going to mute everybody here because there's a lot of noise. Let me mute. That's if you want everybody to comment, you got to mute yourself. All right, so here I am. I'm back. Sorry about that. So today, I don't know where I dropped off, but I'll jump right back in. If you meet somebody, I don't care if it's at a reception, at a trade show, at a fam trip, anywhere on the planet that you find business, even word of mouth, which is a big driver of all of our businesses, people are going to do research. Hey, you got to help with that meeting. You need to call Mark Dahlman, or you need to call Brian Bruce, or you need to call Tulsi Jones. She's great at this. They're going to jump online, and they're going to look up Brian Bruce or Tulsi Jones, and they're going to figure out, is this person all they're cracked up to be, or with a recommendation? So we have to understand what we look like online, okay? Because with what I'm talking about is called the zero moment of truth, and this is a mental buying model that Google has identified that happens in the age of the internet. And essentially what that means is if I have a need for something, I'm going to research it online before I make any decisions. We all do this instinctively today. If we're going to go buy, anything on Amazon, we all look at the reviews before we buy it. We go and look for more detail, more backup, more aside from price, but the description. How are people? What is the reviews of that product? What are they connected to? Recommendations? So we've got to build a strong presence online so that when somebody does research about me, Brian Bruce, then what they find on Google, I control. Okay? So what we're talking about today is not somebody searching HPN Global and doing their research on HPN, because they're doing that every day currently. What I'm talking about is when they do a search for, and I'm going to use Tulsi's name because it's sitting right in front of me, so Tulsi, you're my guinea pig on this. But if I heard from Tulsi in a cold call, because that's what she's great at doing, I'm going to get online and see, who is this girl? And then I'm going to see that she's got a deep connections on LinkedIn with all these contacts. She's connected to HPN, and et cetera. That is the zero moment of truth. That is that content that people find on the internet when they're researching you. That's what they use to make a decision when they have stimulus or a need, or in our case, they need help to book a meeting. So very important that when you search your name on Google right now, if anybody here searches their name on Google, I'm guessing number one, you're going to find your LinkedIn profile. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to find and let's do it. Well, I'm going to do it on my screen share while we're here. Let's do Mark Dahlman. He'll be my guinea pig. But we do Mark. There's his LinkedIn, number one. So there's his title, right? And then you can look down here. There's his website. So if you have a website, that's huge for zero moment of truth. Number three is his Twitter. So people are like, I don't use Twitter, but I'm not going to do it. But you got to do it, because just by creating your name on Twitter, you're going to have a place on the internet that you control. And it's going to be a place that's 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So that's huge. If you've got any videos, there they are. There's his Facebook profile. There's his business Facebook profile. And then down here, if you notice, at the very bottom, there's his place on the HPN Global website. So we have control of these places on the internet. We control what people say or see about us by controlling these areas of the internet. So everybody here, I'm guessing, and I bet 99% of you have a LinkedIn profile, so you're ahead of the game there. Number two, if you don't have a website, I'm going to show you a way today where you can do that for free, okay? And everybody should have a basic web environment for this reason. And if you don't have social media built out, you can build a Twitter for free. You can build your Facebook page. You've got your personal page. Think about a business page that talks about your meeting business. Okay? And that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about the zero moment of truth. And when people have that stimulus, they have that need for a meeting organizer, someone to help them with a conference, they're going to do research, okay? And that research comes in the form of content on the internet that we put out there for people to digest. Okay, so now we're 13 minutes into the call. I'm going to get into why I have everybody here. So Google My Business. It's called Google My Business. So everybody's maybe heard of it, but everybody's certainly heard of Google. But basically what's happened in the last 3 months or 4 months, Google is trying to compete With Facebook, they're trying to compete with other social networks. So in the recent last 90, 120 days, Facebook folded their Google Plus social network. They had a social network called Google Plus. It was a massive failure. Could not compete with Facebook. Couldn't compete with any of them. So they folded it. But when they folded it, they beefed up Google My Business. And what they did was they made a massive change. And that change is you don't need a brick and mortar to build a Google My Business account. So it used to be that you had to have a barber shop on the corner of this street and that street with an address and, in order to build a Google My Business. No longer a requirement. They are now allowing service providers, and I consider ourselves service providers. We provide meeting planner services. We provide site selection services. We provide contract negotiation services. So we are now able as service providers to grab our place on the internet through Google My Business. So what I'm going to show you today is some quick and easy way to create a Google My Business account. All right? And it may sound easy, but there's some intricacies that are very important to understand. And I'm going to walk you through this, and it will not take long. Okay? So first and foremost, what we're doing here is we're putting ourselves on the map. Okay? So what does that mean? So basically, your brand voice is my marketing company, and because I'm in Orlando, there is what's called my Google My Business profile. So you see it over here. You can see that I have reviews, I have my address here, and I have some photos, and it links to my website. Okay? So you can actually click. If I could click, my mouse is broken, but you click, it goes to my website, and this is driving local search. So depending on where you live, if you live in Orlando and there's a lot of people searching for meeting services or event planner or whatever it is that people search for, this location page will come up. Okay, but it will not come up if you do not have a Google My Business account. So we're going to create a Google My Business account. So the first thing I'd suggest everybody do is create a Gmail address for their business for this purpose only. So I'm using brian.bruce@gmail.com. It has to be a Google address. So if you already have an HPN Global address or you already have a Yahoo address, you have to create a Gmail address for this practice we're about to do. So you can create brianbrucehpn@gmail.com and only use that email to access this part of your marketing for your business. All right, so create an account. Once you do that, you're going to go to Google My Business. So just type in Google My Business. It's actually googlemybusiness.com. And once you're logged into that Gmail, this is going to come up. It's going to say, what is the name of your business? And that's the next step. What are you naming your business? Do you have a name? I know we have Mark Dahlman. I'll use his name just because I work with him. He is a meeting planner's best friend. So that's the name of his business. That's the name of his website. That's the name of his business. If you look him up, you can find him by his name. You can find him by a meeting planner's best friend. He's got a catchy slogan. For my meeting planning business, it's simply my name. I do not have a fun brand. I drive HPN, and I am an HPN associate, so I fall under that. But I think more and more as it becomes more competitive on the internet, I think each of us has to have our place on the internet with our business name. So if you don't have a business name, it could be your name, HPN Global. It could be if you do, like exhilarating events, that could be your thing. It could be meetings by Keen Meetings. I know Francine Keen, it's Keen Meetings. So whatever you've decided is your brand, go ahead and create it. So I'll do, let me see, let's see, what do I do? I'll just do, Orlando Meetings Management, or whatever it is, or Brian Bruce HPN Global, right? And then we go next. And then you're just going to walk through these steps to create your place on maps. Now, this is going to literally put you on maps and start including you in search. So it's very important that we're thorough and we answer these questions as much as possible. So this location will show up on Google Maps and search when customers looking for business. Do you want to add a location or customer business? So no, I don't have a location, so I'm not going to do that. Where do you serve your customers? Well, the United States. We can work anywhere, so I'll do that. And I want you to go through this. Now, you're going to have to find out what category of business most represent your business, but you'll see here on the screen that meeting planner service is definitely an option. So that's great. From here, it's very important that we put in our contact information. Okay, and if you don't have a website, don't worry. We can show you the next step where we can build one for free on Google's platform. And this is another new development that's fairly recent with Wix and all of these free website platforms out there. There's a number of others. There's Squarespace, there's Wix. These are platforms for very little money. You can pay them $20 a month or $30 a month or $50 a month, depending on what it is, the package you get. And they'll house your website, and they'll allow you to create and edit your website very easily. You can utilize one of those. You put that domain here. But if you don't have one, you can just mark in here, get a free website based on your info, and we'll go through that and what that looks like in a second. But put in our phone number, and we'll keep moving right along here. So verify. To manage your list, you'll need a verified connection. Okay, so we're good here. We're going to finish. And essentially, once that is done, you will see something. So we got to put our mailing address in here, and we're going to do that. 129. The reason we have to do this is because what Google's going to do is they're going to send us a verification postcard in the mail. And because this is so powerful of a tool, there's a lot of people out there creating fake businesses, multiple fake businesses, all feeding back to them. So in order to weed out the fake, they send a postcard in the mail, and then you have to accept that postcard by putting in a verification code when it arrives back in the system. So it's very self-explanatory. It's not complicated, but putting the address where you will receive that postcard is very important, okay? And they will verify that address by sending you a postcard, which you can see here on the screen. And it may take up to 5 days, usually arrives in a couple days. Once that postcard arrives, you'll be able to verify by coming back to this Google My Business, logged into the email that you're logged into, and you'll be able to put the 5-digit code on that postcard. And I think I have one here. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I have one here. This is one I did for a business recently, and it comes in the mail, and there's a code right there. See that code? That code we just plug in here when it arrives, and then we're verified. So we'll verify later. And basically, once we're verified, okay, we come to this screen. Now, this is all self-explanatory. It was designed for knuckleheads. It was designed for all of us, okay? So this is something you can spend time in and build it out as much or as little as you want. You can set your store hours. You can add a description. You can add your logo. And it'll basically walk you through the process, okay? Then, now here's the part that, really is fairly new. You'll notice here, they've created for me a website. There's actually a website on the internet right now that I can start promoting, okay? So I don't need to, now I probably have to tweak this a little bit so it doesn't look so goofy, but basically Google is trying to help small businesses not only get online, but manage their own environment so you don't have to hire an expensive consultant or a webmaster that you hate or, call somebody to get back to you. You can control your basic web environment yourself. Now, for many of us, myself included, once you get past the 101, which is this, you might want to beef up your website. You might want to make it a little bit more fancy. You might want to create more creativity to it. That's another level. That's the next webinar where we talk about investing a little money and creating a more personalized environment that is representative of who you are and the service that you provide. At the end of the day, I think we would all agree that people are not buying our services as much as they're buying us and the services we provide. So featuring us is very important. So I'm going to walk you through a few things on this screen. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. We've got about 6 minutes maybe, or maybe 10 to go through this. So once we're verified, and even before we're verified, we can build this information out. So you can go to create your Gmail, log into Google My Business, and start creating this today while you're waiting for that postcard. Once that postcard arrives and you verify, it will start populating in Google Maps overnight. So immediately upon confirming that postcard, you will be on the internet. So real quick, after we add the description and everything, we can change our web URL. So if we don't like this URL, Brian Bruce HPN Global, we can change it to Orlando Meeting Planner, .business site, whatever is not taken. So you'll have to, like if I was going to do HPN Global, or let's say Brian Bruce Meeting Services, right? If I was going to do that, it would tell me if it's taken or not. You only can do this, I think, change this name 2 or 3 times. So you want to be careful and do some research, okay? And what people ask me all the time, what should the name of my website be? So Meeting Planning Orlando, or whatever you do best. Like, Mark Dahlman calls himself a meeting planner's best friend. Keen Meetings is keenmeetings.com. Whatever you want to do, you want to come up with. But Meeting Planner Orlando is and if you look over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you can start to see how keywords people are searching for, and maybe you can find one that, mimics a brand or style that you like. But essentially, what you want to do, oops, let me get out of this. What you want to do is create a name, and you can leave it default, your name, HPN Global, because at the end of the day, there's 2 people that are right now, before you start marketing, a couple ways people are going to find you. And the number one way is through your name, right? I just talked to Francine. Let me look her up. There she is. Or, hey, I need to call Francine. What's her number? Oh, Francine Keen into Google. Boom. There's her website. There's her phone number. So we feel like our name would be a great place to put in the URL, just so we could add another place to the internet when people search and find us. So we go through this. We add our information. We're on the web. We add our logo. If you don't have a logo, there is a million places on the internet that will do a logo for you for very low cost. Fiverr is one place. Fiverr.com. Go to Fiverr, and you'll find people that will make you a logo for $5. Okay, $10, $20, $100. It should not take more than $100 to create a logo, a basic logo. I mean, we're not creating something that's going to be, for a national brand. But the more you invest, obviously, the better quality. But I encourage you, if you don't have one, maybe think of creating one. But that would go here. Obviously, your description would be what you do best. You can even add your services. So as you go in to create a description, it'll allow you to create a description. And then even down here, you could you can create your services. So what you do best. So contract negotiation, site selection. You can add as many as you want here. You don't have to put a price. Matter of fact, it probably doesn't make sense for us to do that. But you can definitely put the item name, site selection, and what you do for that. As you're building that, all of that will be translated over to your free website, right? So it will build that environment. It will include everything that you include on Google My Business in this website so that you now have a place on the internet. Now, what I want to do, ultimately, is I want to link that to this. So this is our very basic landing page on HPN Global website that every associate that's on the portal has. Now, the next phase of this is to update it with a profile, maybe have a description, maybe add a website. And if you had a website, this is where we could link out into a website. So connecting the dots between your LinkedIn profile and your website, HPN and your website, Facebook and your website, Google Maps and your website, connecting those dots are how you're going to increase your visibility. As you increase your visibility, people are going to start to view you a little differently, maybe as somebody who does a little bit more than maybe what you're doing now because of the perception that being online brings you. So, all right, so let's go back to my Google My Business. And there are people that are hired, people like me, that are paid just to optimize this environment for people, okay? But I believe every one of our associates is fully capable of doing this. Now, I know a couple ideas. So another thing that's new here is when I told you earlier in the call that Google Google Plus, which was Google's social media platform, folded like a tent. Nobody was using it. It was getting ran over by Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and every other platform out there that was doing well. Google Plus couldn't figure it out, so they folded it. But when they folded it, they didn't get rid of it completely. What they did was they put the opportunity for us to do posts on our Google My Business page. Now, what that basically does is feeds Google with pictures, videos, information about your business that helps add to your website, add to your online profile. And what I'm finding, this is me personally, what I'm finding is if you feed your Google My Business page with videos, pictures, so I know Shannon, she loves to do pictures of her site inspections. If she would, in addition to posting on Facebook or tweeting it or putting it on LinkedIn, if she would post it here under Google My Business post, create your first post, like beautiful site inspection, Louisville, Omni, go check it out, or give me a call, whatever she does, that's just going to build her online, well, what I will call authority. And by feeding Google in this platform, Google's saying, rank her higher or rank him higher, give them more visibility. And why that is important is you're going to see insights. So over time, you're going to come back in a month and you're going to start to see that people are visiting your Google My Business page. And when that happens, you're going to start to be excited. So let me see if I can show you an existing Google My Business account that already shows insights. Let me see if I can, because I have a couple pages that I manage. Actually, I'll look at, let's look at HPN. So if you go here on HPN's insights, you can see over time now, because you've built your page, you can actually start to see that over the last month, 3,834 people have searched for HPN Global and have found us on the map. And if you look here, it starts to tell us how they're searching. So obviously they're searching our name, they're searching HPN, they're searching our full name, business meeting, conference management, conference rooms. Look, there's Desi. Desi pops in there. And so you can start to see how people are finding you, and that to me is very interesting. Another part of this is reviews. So what I'd like to show you is one of the things that's contributing now to your placement on the internet, and you guys know this from LinkedIn. LinkedIn recommendations have been huge for a long time. So getting a recommendation from your existing customers on LinkedIn is incredibly valuable, and you should not be ashamed to ask for that recommendation on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is inside LinkedIn. We want to be outside of LinkedIn. We want to be on Google. And so in order to get on Google, more visible on Google, we need to get some of those reviews on Google. So how are we going to get Google reviews? Well, if you go to this, what Google is allowing, once we verify, there's going to be a link here that basically says Brian Bruce HPN, and it's going to give me a link, and I can share that link with select people that I know would give me a review. Okay, I can say I've got a client that I've been doing business with for 10 years. If I said, Joe, leave me a review, Joe would leave me a review in 30 seconds. If I give him the link where he doesn't have to do anything but click it and type in Google a review, he would definitely do it. So we want to definitely, after we build this out, we want to make sure that we're asking some serious customers to leave us a review, because that's going to allow our Google My Business page to have more content. So content is information, name, address, zip code, your services. Posts, so if you're doing a site inspection and you want to post a picture or a video, or I encourage you, video skyrockets your visibility. So if you're doing a site inspection or on a FAM tour, or you're just walking through the city streets and you have a thought about current trends in the marketplace or an experience, put it there. Google is going to raise your visibility, and when you go back to check out your insights a week later, you're going to see that jump in visibility. Okay, it's not going to be like your phone's not going to start ringing off the hook with leads, but you're going to start to see your your visibility grow, and when your visibility grows, it's going to start helping you get those leads that you were ultimately after. Okay, so posts, information about your business, and then reviews, getting some reviews from some key customers, or it could be anybody. But I would only share that link with people that I feel like had a good experience with me, because I don't want to generate bad reviews for myself if I don't have to. So basically vet them, get a handful, send it to them, and don't be shy to chase them down for these reviews. It's becoming very accepted, especially if you're taking good care of your customer. If you go over and above for that customer, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I'd love your feedback for a review on my Google." All right. All right. There's a messaging feature to this where, for some of you that are a little bit more tech savvy or going to be a little bit more active, you can connect your Google My Business app on your phone to manage your page with the messaging. So basically, let's say someone finds you on Google and they message your Google My Business page, it would send you a text and you could reply in real time, all through the Google app. So very important to build your page, verify it, download the Google My Business app, and make sure they're synchronized. And they will be if you're using that login. Remember, you want to use an email that you designed specifically for this purpose. And I'm going to show you another place. Okay, another thing, in addition to posts, which are pictures and videos, you want to add some videos. You want to add a cover image. The cover image could maybe be a picture of your favorite hotel or a hotel that you recently booked. That would be a fun thing. You change the cover picture to a hotel that you recently booked. Videos, if you're inclined, I cannot stress enough the importance of considering video. And I will tell you, for those of you that are scared to do polished, scripted, edited video, the number one videos that are working right now on the internet are vertical videos. Videos that people take as selfie videos, like, "Hey, this is Brian. I'm here live at the Marriott World Center, getting ready to go in and do a site inspection of this great place. If you have a large meeting, 500 or more, give me a holler. I have hotels like this in my back pocket." That type of content, vertical video, is killing it right now on the internet. It's not the high-powered, horizontal, theatric, cinematography, videographer, edited video that's killing it on social media right now. What's killing it on social media is the real, authentic, believe it or not, vertical video. Okay, so if you have a logo, you'd put that here. If you got a cover image, maybe of the Marriott World Center's, external shot. If you have video, you upload it. All of this stuff, if you have more people on your team, more than one people, you could put it here. But all of this content that you're adding to your Google My Business profile basically separates you from the competition in your backyard. Something that's very important to understand. When you start this, it's going to be hyper-local. In other words, people are not going to find you unless they're in a 3 to 5 mile radius. And you're going to say, "Well, Brian, I do business all over the country." As you add content to your Google My Business page, as you develop a website maybe, as you create more content, your sphere of influence will grow outside of Scottsdale or outside of Orlando, go into Central Florida, the whole state of Florida, and then eventually you'll be a nationwide presence, but that's going to depend upon you investing in putting yourself in this page. Now, I'm telling you, 6 months ago, this was not enough. But Google wants you to use Google more than Wix or more than Squarespace or more than WordPress, so much so that they are giving people like me and you that use this huge upside. So hugely important. Okay, if you have a website, we would link it to your website. If you don't have a website, as I told you, Google will give you a basic site. I mean, you can edit it right here. Everything's you control all of this. It's all very. I mean, a knucklehead could do it. I mean, it's drag and drop. I mean, if you can use our RFP system, you can use this. So at least there's no excuse for all of us to not have some place on the internet. All right, for our business. Okay. Another quickly thing is here is you've created your Google My Business account. You've used that Gmail address. I can now add other users. So I'm going to add all of my emails. because I want any of my emails to be able to be logged in and access this information. I don't know if I can add HPN. Let me see if I can add my HPN email. It might need to be an email-based or a Gmail-based business, but let me just see it. Nope, it's letting me invite my HPN Global email. So I can even invite my HPN Global email and then eventually log in to this using my HPN Global email. That's very interesting to me. I didn't know you could do that, but it just let me, so it must be possible. So that's that. All right, let's see. What else? What else can I share with you? Oh, all right. And then last but not least, we've got it built. It's dialed in. All of our services are in there. I've got images of my last site inspections or contracts. I'm posting about my last deals that I'm doing. Whatever your brand ends up being. It could, you could have a braggadocious type style. You could have a humble style. You could have a I'm here to help style. You could have a I give you a $500 gift card if you use my service style. Whatever your style is. I mean, I hear people all the time say, that's not me, Brian. I don't, that's fine. I don't care what it is that you want your brand to look like. The important thing is it to be translated here in theme, in color, in messaging, whatever the case may be. So the last thing I'm going to share with you, and it's probably part of 2.0, which is we've got a basic environment online. I did it for free. It's up in 2 weeks. I'm good to go. Now we can start creating some ads. And this is where, for me, it gets very interesting. Because if you go back to what I said here about, where are you in your desire to be great at this business? Where are you? Are you saying you want to be great, or do you really want to be great? When you decide that, you're going to want to scale your business, right? There's no sense in being committed to something and being flat. So when you do scale your business, there's going to be an opportunity to create an ad. And when you create an ad, and this is for 2.0, so I'm not going to go into it now, but yes, you can pick out fonts. When you get into creating ads, you can create ads and say, if anybody were to search for hotel contract negotiations in Orlando, I want to make sure my site is up. And I'll pay $200 a month to make sure that I'm visible for that search in these areas, or whatever you want to do. So you completely set the goal, you completely create the ad, and you completely set the budget. It could be $50 a month, it could be $100 a month, it could be $500 a month. So you really want to look and explore. I can tell you that you will make mistakes, you will waste a little bit of money, but I promise you this will be an exercise that is well worth its time. Okay, so I'm going to go into a question I have online. Someone's asked if there are different fonts we can pick from. They have pictures like the one there with the glasses of water available for pickup. So the answer is yes. So you can actually, they have themes here. So you can actually just pick from a preset theme, or, and I like that one, that looks great, or you can actually go in and create different fonts yourself. So you can go in here and actually edit this stuff and create the fonts that you want. And in terms of stock images, you can find those at like stock photo sites and then bring them into here. So you can import them into this site. So essentially, really as much as you want. But I do believe that you can even buy a custom domain right through here. So if you don't own a meeting domain, when I say domain, like emeetingplannersbestfriend.com is Mark Dahlman's domain for his business. If you don't have one, you could actually buy it right through here, and it will link right up to your site, so you don't have to use this custom URL that they've given us, which is basically Brian Bruce, HPN Global Business.site, which is not a bad, but no one's going to remember that. No one's going to, oh, yeah, what is your site? Brian-Bruce-. That's more for Google pickup. But if you want it to be easy, something people can remember, like, I'll use Keen. I keep using Keen Meetings. That's the benefit of branding. I remember it. KeenMeetings.com, a lot more easy to remember than Brian-Bruce-HPN. So if you want to create that, obviously you can do that. So any other questions for me? I'm not trying to overwhelm you, because trust me, I could. But I really think that with Google creating this Google My Business environment, they're doing it for people like us that provide a service, who don't have a lot of money to put into our personal businesses, but they don't want us to miss out on being on Google. This is where we start. And then if you start it here, as you feel comfortable, as you grow your business, as you say, you know what, I generated some money last year, let me throw some investment dollars behind this so I can increase the look and feel of my site. Another question, is this organic marketing endorsement of national products? Are there any concerns with copyright or trademark infringements? So, great question. So I would write all of the content. I would not copy and paste content of other people's sites. I would literally, when I go to description, I would say, after years of working in hotels, I created my business in 2009 to help meeting planners better navigate the competitive world of blah, 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 whatever I do, right? So you write it. And as long as you write it, there's no trademark infringements, right? If you go on the internet and you steal someone's copy, or if you go and use a picture you found off the internet without buying a trademark for that image, you might be subject to copyright or trademark infringements, but I would recommend you buy your own logo and write your own copy, and you shouldn't have any problem. And yes, this is 100% organic, so there's no cost for this, and there's no ads being done. It's all organic, and it's based on Google indexing for your name if it's in the title. If there's any questions, more talking about the on-the-fly videos. So on-the-fly videos, there's a digital marketer out there today. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, and he says, I'm not a great fan of him because he's a little bit, loud for me. Not that I'm not loud, but he's over the top loud. But he says something that really makes sense to me. Document, don't produce. All of us HPNers, we see and do some of the most amazing things, whether it's a fam trip, whether it's a site inspection, whether it's our touring hotels, our old hotels that we used to work at. We see so much amazing stuff in our industry, but nobody sees what we see unless we show them. Like when I go to IMAX in September, you better believe I'm going to be documenting that journey. I just arrived at the host hotel at the Paris. Boom, boom, boom. Checking in on Twitter. I'll be checking in from the showroom floor, getting ready to meet for one-on-one appointments. What this does is it just gives people insight into me as a meeting planner. He doesn't just walk the walk. I mean, this guy has worked in hotels for 15 years. He booked a meeting yesterday at the Brooklyn Bridge Marriott. He's talking about his time at IMAX. He's joining a fam trip at the Eden Rock in Miami. Man, this guy is the real deal. So when I say on-the-fly videos, I'm literally talking about going right here, going to video camera, and saying, hey guys, checking in. Now, doing these videos from your office is not going to be interesting. But if you're standing in front of the Marriott World Center or the Bellagio or the Gaylord Texan, and you're talking about the meeting you're putting in that property and some of the special things that staff has done, or your relationship with HPN, or how you got started at HPN, or anything, that information, when someone searches for, Brian Bruce, and they do a little research, because trust me, people are stalking you. They're stalking you, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your prospects, your customers. They're all looking at you. When they look at that, they're going, oh, check it out. That's cool. Check him out. And that is what builds trust. And that is what's selling for you in the middle of the night, so you don't have to, scream and holler. This is why you need to use me. They're going to go and look at your website, and they're going to sell themselves and go, wow, this person can help me. So on-the-fly videos, document, don't produce. Don't need to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. Don't get wrapped around the axle. Any other questions for me? I will do another one of these in the future. We'll talk about 2.0. Those of you that have set up your Google My Business, how to take it to the next level. We could do one on email marketing, how we should be sending email communication to our prospects, not spamming them, but just letting them up to date. Maybe it's a newsletter. Maybe it's but all of this is very, very important in 2020 and beyond. We can survive, we can thrive in this environment if we take it up a notch and get outside of the rat race. Get outside of the rat race. Separate ourselves from the fly-by-nights that do this because it's lucrative or that they can do it, but show the world that you really invested and that you really care. I appreciate everybody's time. You have my email, Brian at @BBruce at HPN Global. If you're overwhelmed, please don't be. It's not overwhelming. Create the email, log into Google My Business, and have some fun. Social presence post has been my #1 referral. There you go, girl. Keep it up. It's only going to get better. The more you build online, the more those posts will benefit you. And let me tell you, if the only value for any of this is somebody meets you, gets your business card, and says, hey, I met this guy, Brian. He was pretty interesting. He told me he could help me with my meeting in Orlando. And they look up Brian Bruce Orlando, and they find this, just that in itself, it will benefit you, I promise you. And then one day you'll get a piece of business that you weren't supposed to get as a result of it. And over the course of 365 days, you're just stacking momentum. So keep it up. Holler at me if you need me. I'm here. And thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time.